So today we are going to finish this granny square top. You're going to need 3 colors of yarn. I'm using worsted weight yarn, size 4, weight 4, whatever you call it. So 3 colors of that, your scissors, a size 5mm H hook, and a yarning needle. So I've already made 1 cup. I'm working on a size large. This is a stitch marker. If you need it, you'll be putting it in the top every time. So we'll start with a slip knot. For the large, I'm going to be chaining 17. 1, 2, 3. So I've chained 17, and now we're going to go in and place single crochets all the way up. So going into this next one from the hook, do single crochet, and we'll do that until we get to the last chain on this row. So in this last chain here, we're going to put 3 single crochets, and this is going to be at the top of your cup. If you aren't very good at telling where your stitches are yet, you can use a stitch marker. So I've placed 3 in here. If you're going to place a stitch marker, you're going to want to put it in the middle stitch, so your second one. And then we will continue placing single crochets down the side of this chain. For this string, I like to just carry it underneath, so I just lock it in with the single crochet over top, and then we'll cut it off at the very end. Now I'm getting to my last stitch in here for the single crochet. And then I'm going to just turn my work over so I can start working along the other side. I do not chain 1 between rows. It just looks messier to me, but if that's what you like to do, then feel free to chain 1. But yeah, so we just turn our rows and we'll place single crochets all the way up. Once we get to our cluster of 3 at the very top, you will put another 3 in that middle chain, the one that you put your stitch marker in if you did. And you're going to want to just repeat this pattern. I'm going to be doing 16 rows for this size large, so right now I'm working on row 2. So I'm just setting up to the top here. This is going to be at the middle chain, the one that you have marked off. So I'm going to put my 1 single crochet in here, and then I'm going to do a cluster of 3 single crochets in this same stitch. So there's 1, this will be 2, put your stitch marker in this one, and then there's 3, and then I'm going to crochet all the way back down. So I got my last stitch in here, single crochet, then I'm turning my work and going all the way back up. We're just going to repeat these same steps until you get to your last row. So again, I'm doing 16 rows for a size large. So I am on my last row here. At the top, I'm going to do my 3 single crochets. Single crochet all the way down. So now doing my last single crochet in this stitch, I'll do that, and then I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to cut off there, pull that through. So to attach, we are going to make a slip knot. We are going to go into this first stitch here. I have my cups both facing right side up. So I'm going to do a single, oh, if I can pull this through, single crochet, that's not right. This one's always hard to get into. There we go. So I'll do that as a single crochet, and then I'm going to be placing a single crochet all along in each of the rows. So coming up to the last couple stitches here, I'm going to single crochet. I'm going to place a single crochet in here as well. And then we're going to attach. I'm going to carry this yarn over, and we are going to place another single crochet in this one. And that's attached. I'll continue to place single crochets all along this one as well. We're going to do our last stitch, and we'll fasten off right there. And now they are attached. So for our squares, we are going to make a magic ring. Chain 1, chain 2, and 3. So that'll count as our first double crochet. We'll want 12 double crochets all together. 2, 3, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so 11. For this one, when we are going to change colors, we're going to start our 12th double crochet. So we'll do our 3, we'll go pull through 2, and then instead of pulling through again to finish off the crochet, we are going to pull through with the next color of yarn. I like to tie them together. You don't have to, it just keeps them in place. So 1, 2, so we've got that color change in there, and we are going to slip stitch into the top of the 3rd chain here. That is your double crochet. And we're going to pull this loop tight. And for this round, we are going to start the petals. We'll chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we are going to do a treble puff stitch. So yarn over twice. We'll go into this space before, pull through twice, yarn over again 2 more times, pull through 2, pull through 2, and then pull through all 3. Then we are going to chain 3 and do that again in the next space. So yarn over twice, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over twice more, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over twice more, go in for a 3rd time, pull through 2, pull through 2, and then we're going to pull through all 4. Then we're going to chain 3, and we are going to do that in every single space until we get back, and we should have 12 petals. So we're going to put the 12th one right in this stitch, or space, I mean. Then do our chain 3, and now we are going to attach in this stitch here with a slip stitch. So we'll make a slip knot. I'm going to go into this first space here. I'm going to make it a single crochet just to attach it. Then I'm going to tie these 2 together. Now I'm going to chain 2, and this will count as our first double crochet. Then we are going to place 2 more double crochet in this space. And then we're not going to chain anything, we are just going to go right into the next stitch with 3 more double crochets. Sorry, not the next stitch, the next space. So we got 3 in there, 3 in here. And now we are going to make a corner in this space. So 3 double crochets. Then we are going to chain 1 and place 3 more double crochets into this same space. Then move on to the next space, do 3 double crochet. So there's 2, 3. Next one we'll also do 3. And then we are coming up on our next corner, so we'll have 2 things of 3 double crochet, 2 spaces of those, and then we'll do our corners. So 1, 2, 3, then we'll chain 1, and then 3 more double crochets into the same space. And then 2 more spaces of 3 double crochets. And this one is going to be our last corner. So we'll go into that space, do our cluster of 3 double crochets. Then we are going to chain 1 because it's the corner and go through the top of this chain 3, which counts as your first double crochet. So we are going to do a slip stitch. Then we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and in this corner space 2 more double crochets. Then we'll go into the next space, do 3 double crochets, so in the next 3 spaces, this time instead of 2, we'll do 3 double crochets. Then we're in our corner here, so 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 more in the same space, then 3 more clusters of 3 double crochets, and then do your corner. At our last corner, so we'll do 1, 2, 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then we're going to slip stitch into the top of the 3rd stitch. And that's where is. So we'll start with these two. We want them right sides together. And now we are going to sew them together. So get your yarning needle, get some yarn, I usually just do like this much yarn for one. So we'll start in the back loop of our chain 1, and we also want to do the back loop of this chain 1. So we'll pull through, then we are going to go over into the first double crochet here, the back loop, and then we'll go through the back loop of this one as well. Pull through, then you can go through the next back loop of the next double crochets, pull through, and you keep doing that until you get to the end. If you're not sure, just make sure you're counting each double crochet so it's even. So I just finished the third on both sides. Now I'm going to start the first one. So that's the middle crochet. Now we'll do the third, and back to the first one. Now coming to the end, we are going through these back loops again of the chain 1 in the corner, and then we will fasten off. I like to make sure I am doing it at like the corner where I ended the other square, so I can just tie that and know it's secure. This one we'll just leave out because I don't have an end on this side to tie. So we will fasten that off. This is what it looks like in the front. You can weave in this one if you'd like. I just go through the top of this square and kind of just pull through to keep it tight. And then we'll go back up, because then we're going to be covering it when we go around the whole set of squares. So there's those two together. Then we are going to do the same for all of our squares. I did 5 for my band because this is going to be the band, and then after we are going to attach these cups. So I am going to add this next one together here. So I make sure their wrong sides are facing out, and just continue to do that till all of your squares are attached. So I now have all my squares sewn together. I'm going to turn my work right side up, And now we are going to start crocheting all along the border. So, where's the beginning of my yarn? We are going to make a slip knot. So, yeah, in this corner, I'm going to actually do a half double crochet. So I'm going to yarn over this, holding it, go through, and then pull through all of those. So that's attached. Now I want to go into this first stitch here, doing a half double crochet. And I am going to do that in every stitch around until I get to the corners. So I'm getting to where we connected them here. I'm going to do a double crochet, half double crochet in that corner. Then I'm going to place one in between these stitches, and I'm going to carry over these ends. Now I'm going to go into this corner, and I'm going to go in again where that first double crochet was. And just keep doing that until you get to the very end of this side here. So I'm coming up on my last stitch here for this row. I'm going to do my last half double crochet. Now we're in the corner here where we have the chain 1. We're going to do half double crochet, chain 1, and then another half double crochet. Now we're going to start working up along this side. So place a half double crochet in your first stitch. And we are going to just do that all the way around. I'm coming back to our next corner. We'll do half double crochet, chain 1, and another half double crochet. I'm going to be crocheting over top of this all along to lock that string in. And we're just going to continue all the way up this other side. Do the same thing at your corner. Half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet, and then I'll meet you back at the end. Okay, so I'm at my corner. I've done my last half double crochet. Then I am going to just slip stitch into the top of this first half double crochet, and then fasten off your yarn and pull it through, And I am just going to tie these two together. And now we have our band done. So now we are going to want to connect our top. We're going to want it in the middle, so we're going to have to count. I'm going to start counting from this very middle chain and see how many stitches I have for the end, and then I'm going to count and find the middle stitch of my middle square and count the same amount outwards as the cup so that I can sew them together and it will be straight in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 9. So I have 8 on one side, 9 on this side. You can pick whichever one you have and then just connect them, keep that middle there. And then I'm going to count out not the middle stitch but these ones over. So I've counted that I have 32 all along. So now I'm going to count 32 out from this side. That brings me to this stitch all the way over here, and now I'm going to place my stitch marker there and attach it to this one. And I'm just going to fold my work face together now and start sewing all the way up the back there. So I am going to go through back loops only again. So back loop of that one and back loop of this one. You can now take your stitch marker out if you'd like. I'm going to because it's in my way. And then this is a little loose here, these two. I'm just going to tie it together. Those are my leftover strings, not... Okay. So, yeah, just back loops only. The stitches are going to be looser on the squares than the cups, so that's why we really need to make sure they're lined up. Now we're getting up to the middle where we've marked the two together, and hopefully if you counted right, you should be lined up, and I am, so that is good. I'm going to take my stitch marker out. We know our stitches are lined up to the middle, and now I'm going to keep going till I get to the end. On my last stitch, pull through, and I want to make sure that it is tight. So let's just flip it over and see. So it looks pretty good. Did them not splitting apart. So sometimes if the stitches are looking a little too loose, I'll go back again through them just to tighten it up a bit. But on this last stitch, I am going to go over it again. Make sure that's tight, and then just do a couple on the way back. And then I'm just gonna kind of go back through up those stitches and pull through. And then I'm going to cut that off. I want to leave some length. And now I'm going to go back to this side, make sure it is also pulled tight. And I want to just weave this one through again a little bit. All right, so now we are going to do a border around the entire thing and do our straps. Make a slip knot and I am going to start placing single crochets all the way around. So I'm getting to the corner where I've chained one. I am going to go in there with 3 single crochets, turn my work, and place my crochets all along the edge, going through every single half double crochet. Coming up to my next corner here, and I am going to place 3 single crochets in this corner as well. Going over this yarn, it just saves me time from having to weave in the ends afterwards. So it's my 3, then I'm going to place my single crochet in this first. Okay, there we go, now I got it. So I'm going to place my single crochets all the way along, do my 3 in the corner, up 3 in the corner, and I'm coming to where they meet. I'm going to single crochet, I think I'm going to place a single crochet in here. Just to secure that in better. And again, just carrying my yarn underneath. And that just looks better where they join than this. So keep going until we get to the top of the cup. So I'm getting up to my cluster of 3 here. So there's the first one. Now in this middle stitch, the one that would have been using your stitch marker in, we are going to single crochet, and then I am going to chain 85, and then we're going to slip stitch all the way back down. Place a slip stitch all the way back down. So I'm not turning the chain or anything, I'm just going right back into the next chain over from the hook and slip stitching all the way down. Coming back down to my first chain, I'm gonna go into that with a slip stitch, and because I did a slip stitch all the way straight down, my work should still be lined up, not flipped around or anything. So now I'm going to place a single crochet back into this same stitch. I like to make that one kind of tight, and this is what you should have for a strap. It should lay flat. Well, the strap will be kind of curly because it's hard to keep your tension the same throughout, but that's okay as long as it's laying flat here and not twisted. So now we're going to continue to single crochet all the way down the cup. We're going to go all the way down, single crochet in here, place our single crochets up again, and do the same for the strap up here, chain 85, slip stitch back down, single crochet into the same stitch, and go all the way back down, placing a single crochet in this spot, and then all the way back here, and then we'll connect it at the end. Well, I have done my last single crochet. Now I am going to slip stitch back into this first one. I'm going to leave a bit of yarn. We'll fasten that off. And now I'm just going to go through and then through here. Kind of just blends it in a little more like that so you can't see where you've ended off. And now we are going to be tucking and cutting off the rest of our loose ends. So I've did that ending stitch and cutting that one off, and that's done. You can cut off all these ones. I like to just pull them a little bit tight and then cut off those ends. They've already been crocheted over, so I don't have to worry too much about them coming out. For the squares, we are going to want to tuck them in a little bit. So I like to just go through, around. Make sure you're not coming up like being seen on this side. You want to go through the stitches. Just make sure it's pulled tight. Sometimes I'll go back through the other way depending on if this yarn is really slippery. This one sticks together pretty well, but let's do a little bit this way. And now we can cut off that center. Sometimes I put them through the same side together, and other times I'll take one and go through this way. And take this one and go through the other side. And then again, you can just go back through So that one's in there good. We'll cut that off. So you're going to do that with all of your granny squares. You're gonna finish doing that with the rest of your granny squares, and I will show you how to do the back straps right now. So for the back straps, I don't go back through with a slip stitch. You can if you'd like to. I just like that I get a bit more stretch from just doing a chain. So for this one, I actually don't count. I just make sure it's long enough to go through the back. I have a smaller band size, so I don't need mine to be as long. And again, it stretches, so you can tighten it pretty good. Otherwise, just make it as long as you think you're going to need it. I always seem to make mine longer than I think I need, because I'll do them kind of loose like this, and then when I actually put it on, I end up tightening it and having way too much left over. But sometimes I'll just put it into a big bow, or I actually wrap it around my waist for another look. I like that. So this is long enough for me. I'm going to cut that off. I'm going to pull this tight. So now we're going to lace it up like a corset. I'm going to go in this corner from the top. I'm going to, pull that one through, and I'm going to go through the middle. And then through the last one here. So now we've got that laced up in the back. We have some extra to tie it up. For these ends, I'm just going to fold them and tie it in a knot, and then just really pull and tighten that, and that is good. We'll cut that end off. And we'll do the same to this one. So that should be done up. We'll tie this in a bow. And it's got quite a bit of stretch to it, and so did the squares. And I didn't finish cutting these off yet. So this is what we have for our top. Now I am going to finish cutting my string. So thank you for watching my video. I hope this was helpful, and I would love to see how your tops turned out. So if you post it, don't forget to tag me, Taylor's Crochet Co. That's on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and hit subscribe if you haven't already yet. Leave a comment if you have any questions, or if you have any suggestions, or what you want to see or learn to crochet next.